Hi everyone and welcome. One of my favorite Greek dishes is moussaka. The yummy layers of eggplant, meat, potatoes, and bechamel sauce are definitely worth the effort and time it takes to make the moussaka. And as it is made in a large dish, it is enough for several meals. And I like it even better the next day.
Let's start by preparing eggplant for the eggplant layers. I will use two big eggplants which weigh about 1 kilo. Let's wash them, cut off the end with the green leaves and stem, and cut the eggplant in slices, about 1 centimeter thick. Sprinkle some salt on each of the eggplant slices and put them in a bowl. Let's leave the eggplants now for about half an hour. They will let out some liquid, which we will get rid of later. In the meantime, let's prepare the meat sauce. Let's chop the onion and garlic in small cubes. Put a few tablespoons of cooking oil in a pan. Heat up the pan and put the meat to fry. When the meat has fried a bit, let's stir and add the onion and garlic. Let's add the spices as well. I'm adding about a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper now, but we'll probably need to add more later when I taste the sauce. Let's mix everything, put the lid on top, and let the meat cook for a few minutes on medium heat. When the onion is somewhat transparent, let's add the canned tomato, the tomato paste, and red wine. If you don't want to add wine, you can add water. Mix everything and leave it slowly cook, stirring once in a while. Let's put the oven to heat to 240 degrees Celsius or 500 degrees Fahrenheit for roasting the eggplant slices. And wash and dry the eggplant slices. I will rinse them and put them on a rack to drain some water. If you want, you can dry them with paper towels, but it will need quite a lot of paper towels. Therefore, I prefer to drain them a bit before using the paper towels. Now let's pat the eggplant slices with a paper towel to dry them if they're still a little wet. And put a little bit of oil on both sides of each eggplant slice before arranging them in one layer on a baking tray. If you wish, you can fry the eggplant slices in a pan on the stove instead of roasting them in the oven. I prefer to roast them in the oven as eggplants would soak up more oil when fried in the pan. And let's put the eggplants in the oven to roast for about 5 to 7 minutes. Turn them and roast the other side too. Now it's time to taste the meat sauce. Add more pepper or salt if needed. Remove the lid and let the sauce slowly cook and the liquid to reduce as we want the sauce to be quite thick. Let's remove the eggplants from the oven and put them in a bowl or on a plate. Reduce the oven temperature to 200 degrees Celsius or 430 degrees Fahrenheit, as we also need to cut potatoes in slices and roast the potatoes a bit. I will slice potatoes in about half a centimeter to centimeter thick slices. Grease the baking tray and arrange the potato slices on the baking tray in one layer as well. Spread a little bit of oil on top of the potatoes and put the potatoes in the oven to bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. We don't need the potatoes to be fully cooked, as they will still cook in the dish. Sprinkle some salt on top of the potatoes and put them also in a bowl or on a plate. The meat sauce has thickened now. I will taste to see if I need to add more spices. Tastes good, so I can remove it from the stove. Before I can assemble and bake moussaka, I also need to make the bechamel sauce for the top layer. Let's melt the butter in a pot on the stove on medium-low heat. When the butter has fully melted, I will gradually add and whisk in the flour. Now I need to gradually add and whisk in the milk. And slowly stir the sauce till it thickens. Once the sauce feels and looks thicker, I will remove it from the stove. Let's add ground nutmeg and pepper to the sauce. And about half of the Parmesan cheese. Salt. And whisk in egg yolks one by one. The sauce is ready and we can assemble the moussaka. Let's grease a big casserole dish. And arrange the potato slices in a layer. Sprinkle some salt and black pepper on top of the potatoes. And about 2 tablespoons of the grated cheese. In the next layer, we will put half of the eggplant slices. Let's mix about 4 tablespoons of bechamel sauce in the meat sauce and put the meat sauce in the casserole dish over the eggplant layer. Let's level it nicely. And put the remaining eggplant slices in a layer over the meat. For the final layer, let's put bechamel sauce on top. And level it as well. Sprinkle the remaining Parmesan cheese on top and put the moussaka in the oven to bake for 35-40 minutes. Remove the moussaka from the oven, let it cool a little, and enjoy. Thank you for joining me today and see you next week. Bye!